Okay, editing team, this is your sound slate. And three, two, one. All right, here we go. Here we go. Uh, Hello, Business Revolution. It's your guest host, Jason Hudson. I am back with another episode from the number one business podcast in the nation. Now, I know you're probably wondering, where's Brent the Businessman? Well, our goal here is to get 100 episodes by the end of the year. So he's brought in reinforcements, such as myself. And I am a full supporter of what the mission of this podcast, what they're about, and the knowledge and information and the know-how, and bringing in the special guests who really are doing that what they say, and we all can sort of take from that and learn. For my new listeners, here's why BRP is so popular. Number one, we interview the top experts from all industries. Number two, we read the best books of all time. And with the combination of the wisdom from the books and our special guests, we're bound to stumble upon some knowledge and information that I feel is conducive to running a successful business and aligning and posturing you for making those accomplishments. And now, for our new subscribers, also remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because we got to tell the algorithm that this is popular, this is good content, and so the algorithm will send this out to people who might not have this on their page. And so it's basically just to get this out. So let's talk about today's special guest. We have Joshua Anderson, and he is going to sort of give us a brief interview, not interview, a bio of himself, and then we're going to dive right in. So Joshua, tell me about yourself really quick.
Well, I'm just a small town guy, not a big city guy. I came from a town of about 10,000. So you got to know that's a small town. You got to try to figure your way out of that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I've done a lot of things. I've been in music, entrepreneur. I got my own energy drink. This is Beast Juice energy drink right here. And I'm in music. If you look at, you can type Southeast Beast on all platforms, one capital word. There'll be something that comes up there that gives you some kind of idea of what I got going on. But it's just a guy just trying to work hard, basically a blue collar worker. I played college football.
Oh, wow.
I was a professional boxer for 6 years. Um, I played some college football. So I got a friend that went to the NFL. So these different diverse things. I got a friend that's a banker that I went to school with. I've been banking with him since 2015. So, and then, but the last thing I was doing was industrial roofing before I completely stopped working. Period, and just basically independent contractor, all of my own work. I was doing industrial roofing. So that was very hard work, but I learned a lot of information from an older guy that kind of sit with me and taught me the art of business.
Mm,
Not business administration, but the art of business.
mm. That's really good. That's okay. I'm very curious to dive into sort of these things. Now, you mentioned you come from a small town. Could you give me a sort of a brief sort of overview of what that was growing up in your small town? Like you say, having to find your way out of that, and what things sort of led you along that path to find yourself outside of that small town.
Well, I'd say first off, it would have been sports because that's when you're connecting with another group and maybe some other men that got your same common interest they want out too. So, just by education, number one, and then having camaraderie with your friends and your teammates that you play with, having good relationships with coaches, who could say a good word here or a good word there, or when I needed a job here or I needed a job there, they would be like, "Oh, Josh," because you got that local, mentality, and maybe you haven't gone too far. But as after I went off to college, is when I started finding myself that there are some certain unique things about me that I needed to get to the world.
Okay, okay. That's you. So basically, you're telling me
I
internally
used
deep.
football.
Yeah,
I basically used football because they paid for your books and tuition.
yeah,
I come from a poor background. Even though
yeah.
my father was a drill sergeant and my mother was a registered nurse, still and
Hmm.
yet there's four boys. My
Yeah,
household consists of four boys.
yeah.
So if you're taking care of four boys in the house, you basically have eight kids there because all of them have a friend.
Yes, yes.
And so I cut grass. I in the summertime, in the wintertime, I grabbed the snow shovel and
Yes.
salt and would go around and try to snow shovel driveways
Okay.
and
Okay.
whatever you can do. So basically, I wrote this down because I was excited about this today too. I
Yeah.
was excited about the opportunity to share
Hmm.
because you never know who's looking out there and just maybe needs that push. Like if he did it, I can do it.
Yes. Yes.
So um, I had wrote something down. My first job was my father was a drill sergeant, so we traveled around a little bit too. We
Okay.
lived in Houston, Texas, El Paso, Manhattan, different places. So when I was in Houston in the first grade, my first job was walking a girl right next to our house, our neighbor, walking her, holding her hand from school to her front doorstep. And her father paid me like $30 every Friday.
Wow.
So that's when I first realized right then what I could do at first grade. So I don't know how old that is, but it's not
Hmm.
very old. That
Hmm.
there's something specifically in you that has been placed in you been placed in us all, and that you can live and you can survive from, and you can learn how to develop and get it to somewhere else where it could be of use.
That's really cool. You walked her home every day, and wow, first grade. That's amazing. Thanks for sharing that. So where did you to fast forward a little bit? Where did you play college football?
I went to Fort Scott Community College in Fort Scott, Kansas.
Okay.
Then after that season, I went on and transferred back to Independence Community College, where I'm from. I'm from Independence, Kansas.
Okay.
And then we got a bowl. We went to a bowl that year, which
Yeah.
was the Valley of the Sun Bowl in Glendale, Arizona.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's why I tell you again that football and just certain things kind of that you get involved in, it'll take you somewhere else
Hmm.
and expose you to some other elements.
Hmm.
You know.
Hmm.
Then with music, I've always been a musical person.
Okay.
My mom and dad, they played records. They had crates and crates of records, old R&B soul. So when it comes to the music, I had to do something. These are CDs that are being sold right now in Seventh Heaven in Kansas City, Missouri,
Yeah.
and and online all over. So
Okay.
it's just basically getting those creative juices going and then feeling confident. It took me a long time to build confidence to even do stuff like this.
Hmm.
Like uh, stuff like this didn't happen overnight. It's confidence that gets built over and over. And then it's your own self telling yourself, you got it in you and you can do it.
Hmm.
You just need to keep on pushing.
Now, what little micro things that you describe, if any, that sort of were the building blocks of you developing that confidence?
Of loss.
Hmm.
You try something and you lose at it. You try something else and you're not good at it. You try something else and then people are not accepting of it, like as being regular, like maybe you're weird or something. So with the music, I had to get a confidence that not only do I think this sounds good, but you think it sound good too.
Hmm.
And then, like, I've done live shows in Brooklyn, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Kansas City, Missouri, Joplin, Missouri,
Hmm.
just all over. my area and extended far out to actually test that. So on the music part of it, I went way to Brooklyn because New York is like the center hub of the hip hop culture. It's
Yeah.
where rap was created.
Yep.
It's where so I wanted to test my small town, uh, what I thought was good hip hop
Yeah.
out there, and I went out there and I rocked the house.
Wow.
By the time I got off, I mean, all this is up live. You could type Southeast Beast live, and
Okay.
it's going to show some of those scenes at those places. They're
Yeah.
a little rough, a little sketchy areas and stuff, but
Right.
you gotta before you can perform at a high level. I think you need to kind of go through the stairs and see. Nowadays, people just want to push the elevator button
Mm.
and go straight to the top instead of that grind all the way that teaches you. You're learning in the middle of this walk to even be able to elaborate and expound.
Hey, let me tell you something. I love that metaphor that you just said. Hey, chat, listeners, viewers, in the chat, in the comment section, chat, type this: the steps are better than the elevator. Type, and I repeat, the steps
Yes,
are better than the elevator.
it's where it's going to build your character.
Mm.
I mean, and for instance, I'll just bring. Okay, nowadays you got these tattoos. These people got this stuff all over their face and
Yeah.
all of this to get their attention. Then you actually have real content artists, say like Guru or Common,
Mm-hmm.
or some of these guys that don't need all these tattoos. We are who we are,
Right.
and the financial and the other people that are liking what you got going are the people that are backing it.
Yes. Yes.
So it
Yeah.
doesn't
No,
matter.
100%. You don't have to present something that you're not to be accomplished. Just be true to who yourself. You can't cut any corners, like you say. And like I say, I'm a student of the step-by-step process. And I feel if we become inundated with that and fall in love with the process, we don't end game it. So there is no sort of ending. It's all about process. And you're so in love with that process and making it efficient and waking up every day doing that you wake up one day and you're like, wait a second, how did I get here? You got there because you weren't thinking about getting there. You're thinking about the day-to-day process.
That's right.
So,
You're exactly right on that. There's a guy that does film for me. His name is Mogul Filming Group.
okay.
This guy, he basically said to me what you said before. He's like, hey, he calls me Beast or whatever. He said, hey, man, people in Kansas City, they love your stuff and they want you here and they want you to do a pop-up. Now they're doing these pop-ups at these stores and stuff where you can come and he said, I told him, man, I don't even notice that because my head's down. It's almost like a horse. When they're in their race, they put these things on them where they really can't be distracted.
Horse blinders.
They can only look forward,
Yeah.
and so they're only concentrated on the work, and then the rest speaks for itself. I mean, even if you win the race or not, I'm talking about the racing business. You could lose a business.
Mm-hmm.
A business could fail.
Yes.
An idea could not have gone across as well as you thought it would.
Yep.
And you have to learn to be resilient. And see, there it goes back to football again. And when you lose games or it's a close game or you didn't make the state playoffs or
Mm-hmm.
that's hurtful feelings inside of you.
Sure.
You're fighting to win.
Yes.
And so all of that kind of made me tough. Even up there on the roof, the old guy, his name is Roger. He's been in business for 30 years. He's a master roofer.
Okay.
He told me, Josh, when it came to the tear off, I'm up there working with a group of Mexicans.
Mm-hmm.
He said, Josh, when it comes to the tear off is when you made your money for my company. I said, "Oh, really?" He said, "Yeah." He said he thinks it had something to do with when you're in football practice and you got those 3-a-days, the physical drills. Like I could take the heat.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people won't do roofing and jobs like that because they
Yeah.
cannot stand up to the physical elements that it's going to require.
Yes. 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 That resilience, right? That grit is what you speak about, and I think it's so important, for us to have some grit, some substance, and not be blown by the wind, right? Not be blown by the wind. So it's really important to be curious about the foundation. And if you don't have a foundation, what are the things you can do to build that foundation for yourself? That sturdy, sort of grounded approach to sort of the failings and successes. I think is really important. So thank you for that. That's amazing. So what would you say your sort of objective is, like your mission and what you
My,
have
mi-
to give?
well, it depends on where we're at and what we're doing. If I'm in my beauty supply store, my mission is to uplift the ladies that come in there.
Okay.
Some women deal with hair issues
Yeah.
and hair loss or makeup, or they have blemish, or just some things that have maybe happened to them
Mm-hmm.
that 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 make my heart kind of warm to them when they come into my place. Is there any way I can uplift you even after they've spent money, or say they haven't even spent money? There
Mm-hmm.
could be someone that just comes in there browsing, and man, there's some free lip gloss up there.
Mm-hmm.
There's some,
Mm-hmm.
there. I'm always trying to uplift. So basically, the beauty supply store was designed for the upliftment of women.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then of course, your profit margins are always going to be there
Yeah.
if you're handling your business.
Yes.
So
Okay.
when it comes to this, and things like energy drinks and waters, I'm actually doing what it will set up to do. Um, this inspired this,
Mm.
and I took him through my company. Now, of course, he had his own ideas. He owns his own newspaper,
Okay.
so all you can just do is add. And like him, I didn't even charge him. So that tells you sometimes when I see just that the energy level is there with the right spirit of someone trying to do something,
Mm.
I'm not going to charge you for that. For
Right.
me telling you something I already know to get you from here to here.
Right.
So that's one of my aims. And then when it comes to music, it was just to make me something and to put my story out there in my own words, freedom of speech, press, however I wanted to do it, that I would never change. As we get older, our voices change,
Yeah.
our looks change,
Yeah.
but when you record something, it stays that way forever.
Yes.
And it can be turned into royalties.
Yeah. True. That's really
So
good. That's
with
good.
with
I
monetizing stuff,
mm.
everything is being monetized right now. So
Mm-hmm.
all the way down to your logos and stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I mean, there could potentially be somebody out there that wants to take and copy that and take my work. Well, then
Yes.
you need to have all your paperwork together so you can sue them.
Right. That's 100% right. Yeah.
So
Absolutely. So I'm curious. Uh, what sort of was your first business venture or career, occupation that you deem as successful in being a key part of where you are today?
I would have to say the music, man.
Okay.
Me choosing to go into that music because basically it builds you a platform.
Okay.
So there was a guy that I was talking to in the beginning, and I was only involved with a few platforms. He said, "No, man, you need to open up all platforms." You need to open up Facebook. I didn't even have a Facebook at that point. He said, man, you're losing in a way because you're not giving all of your friends that went to school with you and that are your actual friends an opportunity to click your bait.
Mm.
So now so I would say that it was music. I would say that it was football, you know,
Okay.
you
Okay.
know, I mean, you know, just the social part of being a part of a team. See,
Yeah.
I know how to lead, but I also know how to play my position on a team. And good leaders, they don't have it all. They don't know everything, but they know how to get the right people around them to get their goals accomplished. So, you know, that there was one time, I think this might have sparked something too, when I renovated a house. A guy had like $10,000 aside,
Okay.
and he said, Josh, you know, if you can help me get all the, you know, it went from tile, it went from painting, it was a bunch of different, redoing a bathroom, redoing a floor, redoing a whole bathroom and ceiling, you know, to the point that I was looking at him, I was sitting in the house and I'm looking at him outside in the bathroom because he tore it all the way down to the joists on the floor, under there, piping, everything. So
Oh.
basically, I knew a painter. Okay. So I got the painter. I went to school with the painter. He's a great painter. I got him to do it. Another guy, you know, he was down on his luck, but he knew how to do tile. So I got him over there and and did that. And so, and then I think just that, having all those different functions going on and then still being able to everything get done, everybody's pleased, and there's $6,000 left over for me
Mm.
because, you know, it's just how the bid was, you know.
Yep.
I would, not that you're cutting any points anywhere, but you
Right.
just you got cheap labor.
Yep. Yep.
So that taught me a lot too
That taught you a lot.
when I renovated my first house.
So basically, you saw the application from beginning to the end, and you saw the actual, and you experienced the actual return on that. And from there, you were able to kind of formulate sort of how to maneuver and posture yourself in doing business and doing business deals.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's really cool. So in this music, back to this music, what did you like a lot, and then what would you say you dislike about it? Because you mentioned that as your first sort of successful sort of venture out for yourself, something you're doing for yourself, something you had courage to do and becomes accomplished that. And then, so my question is, because I always like to know the truth of like what's going on, right? So what would
Right.
you say is like your, best thing you like about it and the thing you dislike about it?
The best thing I like about it is the liberty to create. And everybody that's born has that right to do that. The worst thing I didn't like about it was all of the processes you had to do to get to this point. And you know, I mean, can you imagine? So I would say the process of maybe I dealt with this one artist that I really didn't particularly like, but I like what he had to offer to the table. And there it is, that cheap labor again, where I can capitalize somewhere off of this.
Mm.
Or maybe there was a recording studio that I really didn't like the environment there or where I had to be at just to record.
Mm.
Or some of these live shows, what it was going to take for me to um, get people to like you, basically get people to like your music, basically. I
Yeah.
didn't like I didn't like all what it would take if I
Mhm.
was just basically still just stayed in that lane.
Right.
But music basically, created this.
Right.
Because there's another guy, like you said, that grit with Gorilla Grit. Like that's the
Mm-hmm.
music that I do is Gorilla Grit. That
Mm-hmm.
was his company. But I was on the music so I could wear it. I could banner in it. I could because I'm really, one of those guys,
Yeah.
But in a sense, that spawned the beast juice. I
Mm.
mean,
Okay.
this is all the way down to my shoes, man.
Wow.
This is how I didn't just put these clothes on today for this interview. I'm in the middle of my whole day of operation, stopping and expounding and just, being able to
Yeah.
share some stuff.
Yeah. Oh man, that's really that's interesting. You know how one.
Like say for instance, Uber Eats.
Mhm.
You can make $50,000 a year at Uber Eats. Just riding around saying, hi, thank you. You look very nice. And yes, I appreciate it. Hey, have a good day. Have a good night. That's an independent contractor, sir. And so what could happen is you could start a job Monday and they could be requesting you by Tuesday if you do what you're supposed to do.
Right. Right. That's good. W- Hmm. See, what happens is I'm seeing a consistent maneuverability that you have. You're able to position yourself and move with the current as it's happening to you. So it has me curious as to what would you define as your superpower?
I would say my superpower is the power that's in me, and that
Mm,
is from God.
okay.
Ever since a kid, I've had a relationship. And then
Mm,
as I got older, after being a kid, I established a grown up relationship with him too. So
mhm,
I'm accountable. And I feel like, there's been great men and women through my life that have invested in me.
mhm,
I owe it to them.
mhm.
I owe it to the people that have cared about me to do great things, to help other people, to be nice, to
Yes.
show love.
Yes. Wow. That's that. I like it. I like that. I like that a lot. What? So with your music, going back to that, because you mentioned it as your first sort of thing, venture out, and like, wow, I did that. What would you say? How did you celebrate your success in making that happen? How did you celebrate? Like, what was you like? Okay, I did that. I'm gonna celebrate. For me, this is what I'm doing for me. So what was that for you?
I had a birthday party. All
Okay.
right. And I invited, okay. And so at this birthday party, I also rented out this club.
Okay.
Okay. And the club had already all the music accessories there, a stage, DJ booth, all this stuff.
Okay.
So this is probably like 2018.
All right.
So all of the local guys in my town, I invited them all and I let them do all of their crafts they wanted to do there. Everybody wants to be seen. I basically created a platform for all those guys on my birthday to be seen and be heard and be liberal and
Wow.
enjoy with me. I bought champagne.
Yeah.
I invited people. I let people in free, some people.
Yeah.
But that's
That's
what I
like
did with the
so
music.
you
Basically
threw
involved other people too.
wow. So you wanted to provide a platform to help other people. And this was your celebration of yourself.
Yes,
And
yes.
that's I think that's really that says a lot about who you are as a person. And you're vibrating in such a generous place, a place of help. And I think people who vibrate in this abundance place, I think really are aligning themselves for the success in whatever it is they do because they're just vibrating in a successful way. And I think it's important for our listeners and viewers to sort of hear that. Here's a person who's celebrating his own success by creating a platform to help other people. Like that's really good there.
I
I
mean, hey, and,
appreciate
and,
that.
and at the same time, I got to do my raps too. So
Right, yeah.
yeah.
Yes, okay. So So I see with the beast juiced. I like that. I like the name of it. And just throughout your diverse portfolio of operations, take me through a day to day, what that looks like for you. Waking up in the morning, you know, maybe you do your yoga in the floor. I don't know, but just what does a day to day look like for you?
Well, I'll wake up early. I have children, so we got to get them off to daycare and all
Yeah,
of those places.
yeah,
The
yeah.
regular father duties.
Yes.
Um, I'll probably come back home and get myself together, and then head into work. I when I was working my retail stores, I only had like one or two workers, so I basically was hands on. It wasn't a whole bunch of tasks to do. Like I was around all of my tasks, so I'll go work a job, or you know, um, there was one time that I did some Uber stuff.
Okay.
Even as having all of these, just still compensating that income.
Yes.
Where you still got
Whatever.
something coming
Look,
in no matter
wh-
what.
what I say is whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Yeah. So all the way down to I've worked at Walmart before in my life. I
Yeah.
mean, I've 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 done a lot of jobs, but the number one, I'm telling you, I got to go back to that roofing job, and then that man named Roger, who basically taught me the art of business.
Hmm.
See, I didn't know business before I met him.
Hmm.
He taught me the art of business, not just I'm talking about from from ordering, from the idea, all the way down to contracting all the people.
Okay.
Basically I was doing some general contracting without being a general contractor.
Right.
You
Right.
know. So
Okay. Okay. So when in with your businesses, would you consider it, because we are post COVID, 2022, the last quarter of 2022, which the year has flown by. Would you say you're in an uptrend or a downtrend?
I would say I'm in an uptrend for my visibility. People actually wondering, like, uh, my Cash App payments up, where they're sending in and I'm sending out. Now I'm into distribution instead of just retail sales. You would think retail sales is the place to be.
Mm,
Well, maybe not if you can do some distributions.
right. Right.
Maybe retail sales is going to have too much of your time. It's just going to take too much of you. You're not
Mhm.
going to be able to go here, go there, set this one up, set that one up. Like I have the Black Owned Beauty Supply Association calling me, setting up radio interviews in Kansas City.
Okay.
I don't I don't do that.
Right.
But I've done it.
Mhm.
Like my friend I told you that is a ex NFL football player.
Yeah.
He contacted me to start his first football camp.
Wow.
Now now that started. Hold on, let me show you this shirt. I don't
Okay.
make shirts and stuff. Hold on. This is the first established Ron Warner football camp
Oh,
that'll
that's
actually
cool.
that'll actually start. So what here is it says accolades to the right
Hmm.
and left, and then all the sponsors were on the bottom here.
Yeah.
He got a Super Bowl ring and all of that stuff. So
Wow.
and then he was so happy, he was so flattered, even though, he's this big star, he's done this, he's been everywhere,
Yeah.
but that still that he got that hometown partner that's
Right.
gonna hit the block for him, that's gonna rep for him, that's gonna uplift his name in a positive way, and we're gonna keep
Yes.
this going on.
I love it. That's good. That's a good thing, man. It's always good to have that, have that community. So what, because we're all about information and knowledge here. Were there any books that you'd like to suggest to our listeners? In any books that you've recently read or are reading right now?
Uh, Not too much. Basically, when it comes to the reading
Mm-hmm.
on books and stuff, I kind of read what I need to. I go through so many PDFs,
Mm-hmm.
so many files. Everything's about a file now with the internet,
Mm-hmm.
and a PDF or, this or that. So basically, my nose stays in catalogs,
Okay.
uh, brochures,
Yes.
magazines.
Yes.
When it comes to just a book,
Life in the spirit. Yes.
this is the King James version,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
it and,
KJV.
and it's the study Bible.
Okay.
So if you don't even understand something, some of these languages it's in other, we don't really understand it sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, there's people just like you that don't understand, and there's
Mm-hmm.
cliff notes down to the bottom
Mm-hmm.
that you could refer to get a little bit of understanding. So if I have to refer you to a book, it's going to be to the number one seller
Yes.
to
Absolutely.
this day.
I love it.
And
Yes.
because there's things in here that surpasses all understanding.
Mm-hmm.
So you're basically asking me, okay, is there a formula on it? Is there a certain book that could help to? It's right here.
Right there.
It teaches you how to love.
Mm-hmm.
It teaches you how to. It doesn't teach you a bunch of business in here,
Mm-hmm.
but it can teach you how to treat people that could help you in your business.
Wow. That's good. That's good. That's really good. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? What's your imagination show you for yourself and your business operations in 5 years where you're at?
I'm over there on Mount Rushmore with E40, and he's going to show me how to make the new winery because he has his new wine, which is Earl Stevens.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get on over there, and I'm gonna come with my new brand of wine called Joshua.
I love it. I love it. That's amazing. Okay, I love it, man. That sounds good. So to our listeners, and they're paying attention, and we've gotten some really, I think, you've given a lot of clarity as far as, the little suggestions of life and how they present themselves, and how if you follow that track with courage, you can become accomplished. What do you feel would be 3 business tips you would give to our listeners?
Number one would be, in business, you don't win every deal.
Okay.
That's gonna be number one.
Okay.
Don't go into business thinking that you're gonna win every deal. Now,
Yep.
it's good to have good expectations, and it's good to have everything lined up where they can't say no to you.
Yep.
And this just has to go right. I understand that, but sometimes it may be even in your best interest if you lost a business deal, because you're also dealing with personalities and stuff. Do you want to deal with this personality again,
All right.
or could I just only lose $500?
Right.
Could I just only lose $500 on this deal and then I just be done with it? All right. Number two would be, creative minds produce business. So it's not saying that you have to think way left park on something. It could be something very small and minute right in front of your face that you have a grasp on, that you could actually be the inventor of or something. That's how sharp that our minds are, that we're created. We're only using like 10% of it. Can you imagine if we were using 12? So, and then probably the last thing I'll say, your branding. Like, in your branding of your products, um, there's promotion, you know, there is marketing strategies that you're going to have to do. And when it comes to getting something, you are going to lose money on your own business, especially. You're going to lose to propel it into the light that you want it shown in. You know, you got to give some away. You got to sponsor some things. You got to donate some things. You got to, you got to be there and be available. But number one is this. Um, it's not about your abilities, but it's about your availabilities. There could be someone propelled into a better position just because they were consistently there every day, just because they were in the right place at the right time, and that could be a small little thing. You look at these stories sometimes of someone starting off as the labor position and ended up owning the franchise or something. How did that happen? Consistency, hard work, their grit, their resilience. So
Wow.
it's not about your ability, but it's about your availability.
That's good. That's good. That's really good. It's not about your ability, it's about your availability. That's amazing. I really appreciate that thought right there because um a lot of times we kind of can get caught up on what we can do, what we can't do, et cetera, et cetera. But what you're just telling me is just about being present, right in the moment, right here, not being vacant in your mind, not being out to lunch in your mind, but just being right here, right now, and consistently right here, right now. You
That's
know,
right.
that's amazing. That thank you for that. That's a good one.
Well, we get
Um,
caught. Think about it. We get caught up in accolades.
yes.
We get caught up in education.
Yep.
We get caught up in,
Yeah.
are we a high valued man? Is
Yeah.
she a high valued woman?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you look at it in the terms of, it's not about your ability, but it's about your availability in the situation. It
Hmm.
brings us all down a little bit to the
Hmm.
same level, like right
Yes.
here.
Yes. It makes you human, right? We just want to be a living, breathing human being, coexisting with other living, breathing human beings, and we're all sharing in ideas together.
Right.
Joshua, that's huge. Thank you for that. Where can we find more information about you, your website, your brands, your operations? Give us that info so we can so our listeners and viewers can reach out.
My all my businesses have been set up properly. So if you type Beast Juice energy drink in there, you're gonna. I'm talking Google now. It's going to be in there. Anything with my music's going to be Southeast Beast, capital letters, one compound word. So all from LinkedIn to YouTube to Spotify to iTunes to, it's all going to be linked up there. But when it comes to beauty supplies, I'm actually moving in the direction where I'll be the distributor for the Black Owned Beauty Supply Association in the whole Midwest region. So I'll be moving around, basically setting up new locations for people to order from, like through our catalog, and they'll have me a website. But yeah, all of my stuff is pretty much up.
Okay.
Um, there's numbers, phone numbers, and everything that's connected to that. So
Okay.
it's not, I'm not hard to find, and in business, you don't want to be.
Right. That's right. That's
So
huge. That's well. Thank you. Thank you for, like I said, it's been just a pure delight, man. Me personally, I've gained something from it, and like you say, the I think the cherry on top was, it's not about your ability, it's about your availability. That's such a strong thought there, and guys, as you follow Josh here, remember to go to businessrevolutionpodcast.com for the full version of this interview. With that said, thank you for your time, Josh. And until next time, this has been the Business Revolution Podcast, the place where business owners and entrepreneurs come to get leads, sales, and profits on profits. Yeah, we got the beast juice in the house. All right, take
hey
care.
man, I appreciate you for having me.
Yes.
If there's anything else I can do, we're good. maybe we'll talk later or something. But I
Yes.
appreciate you having me, and I
Yes.
enjoyed you as well too.
All right. Thank you so much. So, again, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Josh. All right, editors, we're stopping the record right there. There you go. That's the recording. Have at it. And I will stop it now. Start recording.